We are looking at unit 2 of electrical circuit theory. Okay, let's start from here. This is where we stopped in the last class. Okay, superposition theorem. Some circuits require more than one voltage or current source. For example, most amplifiers operate with two voltage sources. When multiple sources are used in a circuit, the superposition theorem provides a method for analysis. Hence, the superposition theorem is a way to determine currents in a circuit with multiple sources by considering one source at a time and replacing the other sources by their internal resistances. What it actually means is when you have two or more sources in a circuit, you are going to analyze the circuit with only one source acting at a time. Other sources will be deactivated, okay, depending upon their nature, okay, and then we will algebraically we will add the responses and to find the correct result, find the end result. Okay, let's see it more thoroughly. Statement: in a linear bilateral network having more than one source, the current and voltage in any part of the network can be found by adding algebraically the effect of each source separately. Okay, so this is only applicable to linear networks, that is the constraint. Okay, so linear bilateral, okay, network having more than one source, okay, that is when you can apply the superposition theorem. Okay, so let's see the procedure. Consider only one source E1 and replace E2. See, this is the circuit. There are two sources E1 and E2, and there are three resistors R1 and R2 and R3. Okay, consider only one source E1 and replace the other source E2 by its internal resistance. If E2 has some internal resistance, replace the E2 with the internal resistance. Okay, what we are actually doing is making E2 0. 0 means short circuit. Okay, when there is no internal resistance. If it is voltage source, open circuit. If it is voltage source, and if it is a current source, you have to open circuit. Why open circuit? When current is zero, that means essentially open, right? That's why you have to make it open. And determine the current through the load resistance. Where is the load resistance? Maybe I this one is the load resistor. Okay, so find out that current. Okay, part of the current that is applied by E1, that is what you are doing. So you are finding the response in the load only when E1 is acting alone. Now consider the other source E2 and replace E1 by its internal resistance and find the current flowing through the load resistor. Okay, what about the end result? End result is nothing but, see, end result is nothing but sum of these two currents. Initially we named it as IL, second time we named it as IL dash, then IL and IL dash you have to add them algebraically. What does that mean by algebraically? Depending upon the current direction, both the cases the current flows in the downward direction, then you can add them. When the current directions differ, then you have to subtract them. That is the way. Okay, right. Now let's see the step 1. E1 acting alone, internal resistance is 0, so just simply short circuit. Now you need to find the current I3. Okay, what is I3 in this case? I1 times R2 by R2 plus R3. That is what you got from current division rule. Okay, total current into opposite arm resistance R2 divided by the total resistance R2 plus R3. Total resistance of the branches that are connected in parallel. What about I1? I1 is nothing but the E1 upon the equivalent resistance. What is R equivalent? This resistance plus these two in parallel, that is R2 R3 by R2 plus R3. So I1 is nothing but E1 upon R equivalent. Okay. So E1 upon R equivalent you can directly substitute it here. What about the current I3 dash when E2 acting alone? Replace E1 by internal resistance. Internal resistance is 0. Okay. These are the currents I1 dash, I2 dash, I3 dash. What is I3 dash? Nothing but I2 dash into R1 by R1 plus R3, applying the current division rule. What about I2 dash? This current divided by the equivalent resistance. What is the equivalent resistance? R2 plus R1 R3 in parallel, that is R1 R3 by R1 plus R3. Okay, right. So you got I3 dash now, you have I3. See the current direction, both are downward, right? So just add them, I3 plus I3 dash. Okay, that is the current when both the sources acting at a time, when both the sources are active. Okay, let's see an example. You have to find the load resistor current flowing through the load resistor 6 ohm in this circuit using superposition. Since it is mentioned superposition, we will use superposition only. Okay, first 24 volts, keep 24 volts and short this one. Okay, what is the current here? That is I3, that nothing but I1 into R2 plus I1 into R2 by R2 plus R3. Okay, what is I1? These two are parallel. 6 parallel 6 is 3 ohm. Total resistance is R1 plus this 3. 6 plus 3 9. So what is E1? 24. 24 by 9 is the current, that is I1. 24 by 9, 2.67 ampere. Okay, what about I3? 24 by 9 into 6 by 6 plus 6, 12, that is 24 by 9 into half. Okay, equal resistance, current divides equally, that is 12 by 9. 12 by 9 is the I3. 12 by 9 is nothing but this 1.335. 12 by 9 is 4 by 3 kada, is it not 4 by 3? 12 by 9 is 4 by 3, nothing but 1.333 ampere. Okay, now place only E2, replace E1 by short. Okay, because the internal resistance is 0. Now I3 dash is nothing but I2 dash into 6 by 6 plus 6, that is 6 by 12 is half. So I2 dash by 2 is I3 dash. What is I2 dash? This 3 plus 6 is the total resistance is 9. So E2 by 9 is the I2 dash. What is E2? E2 is 12, I guess. Yes, E2 is 12. So 12 by 9. 12 by 9 is I2 dash. Okay. 12 by 9 into 1 by 2 is I3 dash. 12 by 9 into 1 by 2 is 6 by 9. 6 by 9 is nothing but 2 by 3. 2 by 3 is nothing but 0.666. So that is 0.666 ampere. Okay, 0.666 ampere. Now both the current direction matches. I3 dash and I3 flow in the same direction. So you can add them directly. I3 plus I3 dash is the current flowing through the load, that is 1.333 plus 0.666 is nothing but 2 ampere. Okay, right. So this is the answer. 2 ampere is the answer. Now the similar problem you can try on your own. Okay, you need to find the current flowing through the 6 ohm. Okay, is it not similar? Yes, it is similar. But what is the difference? See, the resistance is given. Let me explain. The internal resistance is 4 ohm here, 1 ohm here. Okay, voltage is given and some resistance is given, means that is internal resistance of the source. Okay, let's replace E2 by its internal resistance, that is 1 ohm. Okay, now find R equivalent, nothing but this plus this, 5 plus 1 6, 6 parallel 6 is 3, 3 plus 2 plus 4 is the total resistance, 5 plus 4 is 9. Okay, you have to keep the internal resistance of the battery as well. 9 is the equivalent resistance, 200 by 9 is the current I1, 22.22 ampere, that is 200 by 9. What about I3? I3 is nothing but total current I1 into opposite is 6 by total 6 plus 6 12. So I1 by 2. I1 by 2 is nothing but 100 by 9, that is 11.11. Okay. What about here? Replace E1 by its central resistance R1 and find the equivalent resistance. 6 parallel 6 is 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. Again 200 by 9 is the total current I2 dash. Okay, what about I3 dash? I2 dash into opposite 6 by total 6 plus 6 12, that is I2 dash by 2 nothing but 100 by 9, that is 11.11. This is 100 by 9, that is also 100 by 9, so the total current is 200 by 9 or 22.22 ampere. Okay, this is similar problem that I can skip, I guess. You can work it on. Okay, right. The method is different in this case. Okay, but you can follow the same method, no problem, right? Find the current through 150 ohms here, the resistor, and the power consumed in it by the principle of superposition theorem. Once you know the current, I square into 150 is the power consumed, no problem. So this is also similar problem, I can skip. Okay, only difference is here you are finding the current where the battery is present. Okay, but the process is same, you need not to bother much about that. Okay, anyway we are going to solve some exercise problems as well. Okay, right. Similar problem of this 140. Yeah, similar problem, you're going in a different way, that is the only difference. Here see the current source is present. Let's see this problem. Find the current through 8 ohm resistor and its direction for the network shown below. Okay, according to superposition we need not to place this current source when E1 is acting. So when E1 is acting alone, open circuit this. Okay, oh, okay. See, this is the method one where we converted a current source into equivalent voltage source, and then you can follow the similar process, that is method one. But we will go with method two. Open circuit this one first. Okay, let me go to the method two. Where is method two? Method two. Method two. I don't think method two is explained here in these two examples. Okay, so let me tell the method two in the exercise. Let me solve those things. Once it is converted into voltage source, then the process is similar, right? You need not to bother much. What is here? What is so special in here in this problem? Nothing. Everything is as it is. You can solve this problem easily. Okay. Let's go to the Thevenin's theorem quickly. Okay. Thevenin's theorem provides a method for simplifying a circuit to a standard equivalent form. This theorem can be used to simplify the analysis of complex circuits. This is very much important. Let me underline this or let me highlight this. Why that is important? This is only helpful when it is complex. Otherwise, you need not to use Thevenin's theorem. It is actually giving a equivalent of circuit in a certain sense. Okay, where you can apply this, then any linear bilateral network you can apply the Thevenin's theorem. Can be reduced to a simple two-terminal equivalent circuit consisting of a voltage source in series with a single resistor. Okay, so what is the procedure? You have to remove the load resistor. So let's say this is the circuit where you need to find the current at the load resistor. Replace this load resistor first. Okay, open circuit the load resistor RL and put a open circuit terminals across it. Okay, and find the voltage across the open circuit terminals. See, this is the open circuit terminals, load terminals. Here you need to find the open circuit voltage, nothing but VOC here, VTH. Okay, once you found VTH, then you have to find RTH. How to find RTH? Replace the source by its internal resistance and see and open circuit the load terminals and see from here. Look from here and find the resistance, equivalent resistance, that is RTH. In this case, R1 R2 parallel plus R3. Okay, that is R12 is R1 R2 parallel plus R3 is the total equivalent resistance. Now you have to draw the Thevenin's equivalent circuit. What is Thevenin's equivalent circuit? Consists of VTH, open circuit voltage, in series with the RTH, Thevenin's resistance. Okay, across the load terminals. So you have to keep the load now. This current load current IL is nothing but VTH upon RTH plus RL. That is the current flowing through the load even in the original circuit. That is the advantage of the Thevenin circuit. Okay, wherever you are going to find out the mm, response, either voltage or current, that won't change across the load. If you look from the load, both the circuits are same, that is equivalent to one another. If you only look from the load point of view, that is the current flowing through the load won't change, and the voltage across it won't change. Why? Because the current into resistance is nothing but voltage, right? When the current is not changing means the voltage also will not change. Okay, that is the beauty of the Thevenin's theorem, where it preserves the voltage across the load, or voltage across the current under element under interest, and also current flowing through the element under interest. Okay, so if you look at load terminals, both are equivalent to one another. Okay, other things will change in any way, that is of not interest. Okay, let's see how to do the how to apply the Thevenin's equivalent circuit at the open circuit terminals of the active network. You need to choose these two are element. These two are the um, terminals of interest. Okay, you need to find the Thevenin's. How to find? First, find open circuit voltage. This is quite simple. See, the current flowing here is 0. So the total resistance of the circuit is 40 plus 30 plus the internal resistance of the battery is 2. So 72 is the total resistance. What is the current? 10 by 72. What about voltage across here? This voltage plus this voltage, and this voltage is 0 since the current is 0. So voltage across this is nothing but VPQ, that is 30I. 30 into I is what? 10 upon 72. 10 upon 72 is 0.14 into 30 is 4.2 volts is VTH. What about RTH? Replace the source with its internal resistance 2 ohm. Find the equivalent resistance 42 parallel 30 plus 20. 42 parallel 30 is this, plus 20 is this. So RTH is 37.5. So what is the equivalent circuit? VTH in series with RTH across the load terminals P and Q. Okay. Determine the current flowing through the 5 ohm resistor using Thevenin's theorem. This is the 5 ohm resistor. You need to find the Thevenin's equivalent circuit across these two terminals. Name those terminals P and Q. Okay. Now open circuit the load. Find open circuit voltage. Since there is a battery but there is no closed path for the current to flow, so the current here is 0. Okay, VPQ is nothing but voltage across 2 ohms, this 2 ohms. Okay, what is the total resistance? 2 plus 2 4, 20 by 4 is 5 ampere, so VPQ is nothing but 5 into 2, 10 volts. So VOC or VTH is 10 volts. Oh, no, sorry, my mistake. 10 volts is the voltage across this. Okay, and what about this voltage? Apply KVL again. Uh, Minus 10 plus 12 plus VTH. Okay, minus 10 plus 12 is 2. 2 plus VTH is 0. VTH is minus 2. Okay, that is my mistake. Since there is a battery here, you shouldn't you should include this voltage also. That is the reason why there is a difference between this and this. When there is no battery, yes, this voltage nothing but this voltage. Okay, that was a mistake. Okay, so VTH is minus 2. Now place the equivalent circuit VTH, RTH and RL also. Find the current. Current is 2 upon 14, that is 1 by 7. Okay, and the current direction is from Q to P, not from P to Q. That is what negative sign indicates. Okay, determine the current flowing through the 10 ohm resistor using Thevenin's theorem. You can follow the same method, similar method. Follow that. Okay, not a big deal. 6 ohm resistor using Thevenin's theorem. This is also not a big deal. Okay, we can solve the problems of that sort using in our exercise problems. But 10 ohm load resistor, this is quite interesting to find. So let's find the 10 ohm resistor, current flow through 10 ohm resistor using Thevenin's theorem. Normally solving, you need to uh, solve the three equations to find the three unknown currents, and then subtraction of this I1 minus I2 will give you the current flowing through the 10 ohm. That is one. That method you are already familiar with. But Thevenin's theorem, it will be quite helpful to solve this kind of problems quite easily. How to proceed? Open circuit the load terminals, apply this E, and find the open circuit voltage. Okay, I1 is current flowing here, I2 is the current flowing here. See, both are in parallel now. So 10 by 6 is the current here, 10 by 7 is the current here. What about VTH? Apply KVL. Okay, if you apply KVL, I1 plus VTH, yes, minus 4I2 equal to 0. Okay, so what is VTH? Let me write the equation as well. I1, okay, I1 plus VTH, right, minus 4I2 equal to 0. Okay, then what is VTH? This you can anyway rephrase, right? Rearrange, not rephrase, rearrange. How to rearrange it? Send them other side, nothing but 4I2, okay, minus I1, that is what it is. What is I2? I1 is what? 10 by 6. Okay, let me write I1, I2. What I1 is, what I2 is. I1 is I1 10 by 6, sorry, 6 ampere. Okay, 10 by 6 is nothing but keep it as 10 by 6 only. 5 by 3 actually. Okay, keep it as 5 by 3, your wish. Okay, 10 by 6 is 5 by 3. What about I2? I2 is nothing but 10 by 7, I guess. Yes, 3 plus 4 is 7. 10 by 7 is 10 by 7 only. How come it changes? It won't change. Okay, now find VTH. Let me find VTH for you. 4I2, that is 40 by 7. Just not 8, 7. Okay, alright. What is I1 then? Oh, keep a bracket. I1 is 5 by 3. Okay, 5 by 3. 5 by 3. Then what is VTH? VTH is nothing but, keep this only. Keep it down. Take LCM. LCM is 21. Both are primed to one another. So 43 is a 120 minus 5 7 is 35. Okay, so what is VTH then? Again you need to place VTH here. 120 minus 30, how much? 120 minus 30 is 90. 90 minus 5 is 85. So this is 85. 85 by 21. 85 is not divisible by 7, I guess. Yes, so 85 by 21 volts, that is VTH. Okay, 85 by 21. Oh, where is plus, where is minus? This fellow got something else, I guess. Okay, no problem. I1 here plus minus VTH minus 4I2, that is 4I2 minus I1. What is I2? I2 is nothing but 10 by 7. What is I1? I1 is nothing but 10 by 6. 10 by 6 is 5 by 3. So VT is nothing but 4I2 minus I1. So 40 by 7 minus I1, that is 5 by 3. Yeah, 5 by 3. 21 here, 3, 7, 3 is 43 is 120. 3 7 5 7 is 35. 85 by 21, that is quite correct. No issue there. Okay. Now find RTH. Let me verify this one also, since we got it out. VTH, this procedure is correct. VA minus VB. VA is supply voltage minus PD across 1 ohm resistor. Okay, supply voltage is 10 volts. Yes, 10 volts. Right. 10 volts minus PD across 1 ohm resistor is I1 into 1. I1 is what? I1 is 5 by 3. Okay, so 10 minus 5 by 3. Okay, 10 minus 5 by 3, 10 minus 1.67 is the answer here. 10 minus 5 by 3 is what? 10 minus 5 by 3 is 30 minus 5, 25 by 3. VA is 25 by 3. Here you can see 10 minus 5 by 3 is nothing but 25 by 3. That is VA. Okay, what is VB? Supply voltage minus PD across 4 ohm resistor. This is not 1, 4. PD across 4 ohm resistor is 4I2. That is I2 is 10 by 7. 40 by 7. Okay, so now you need to remove 10 minus 40 by 7. 10 minus 40 by 7 is what? 10 minus 40 by 7, 60 by 7. 10 minus 40 by 7, yes, 60 or 10 by 7, 10 by 7. 10 minus 40 by 7, 70 minus, sorry, uh, 10 minus 40 by 7, 30 by 7. Okay, now 25 by 3 minus 30 by 7. Supply voltage 10 minus PD across 1 ohm. PD across 1 ohm is 5 by 3. 5 by 3. 30 minus 5. 25 by 3. VA up to VA is correct. What about VB? 10 minus I2 is 10 by 7. 10 minus 40 by 7. 10 minus 40 by 7 is 30 by 7. Up to here it is correct. So 25 by 3 minus 30 by 7. Okay. Is what VTH. How much it will be? Let's calculate it here. 21 is the LCM. 3 7 ja 25 7 ja 25 7 ja how much? 175. Yes, 25 is 7 2 ja 14, 7 5 ja 35. No, that is correct. 3, this is 90. 175 minus 90 is 85 by 21. That is correct. Okay. So where he got wrong? Here itself he got wrong. Okay. He made a terrible mistake by taking VA as 1.67. Okay. VA is not 1.67. VA is actually this 25 by 3, 8 point something. 8.33. VB is 5.72. Is it correct? 7 5 is 35. 5. 50. 7 7. Yes, this is correct. Okay. We will put the tick mark here. VB is 5.72. Okay, that is correct. What is mistake? This is the mistake. VA is not 1.67. This is a mistake. This is error. VB is correct. Okay. So what I can say, it is incorrect. Okay. This is our error. This is our error. Okay. But VTH may be correct. RTH may be correct. Yeah. Short circuit these terminals. Find resistance across these two. Okay. Once you short it this one out, this is how it appears. Okay. Close these two. Open these two. So these two are parallel, these two are parallel. 5 parallel 1, 4 parallel 3, both are in series. So that is 5 by 6 plus 12 by 7, 2.54 is the RTH. So VTH we know, RL we know. What is VTH? VTH is 85 by 21. 85 by 21. So RTH is this. Okay, I guess RTH is correct, whatever he did. RL you already know, 10 ohms. Now we are going to find out what? We are going to find out I. What is that I? IL. 85 by 21 is how much? 85 by 21 is 4.04 divided by 12.54. 0.322 ampere is the current. Okay, current value is correct then. 85 by 21. 4.04. Voltage is also correct. VTH is not minus. That is the mistake they did. Okay, that is not minus. It is actually plus. Okay, VA they went wrong. Okay, current direction got changed. That is the mistake there. Okay, anyway, we don't bother much about the mistake there. Okay, why? Because we corrected it. Norton's theorem. Okay, let's discuss from Norton's theorem in the next session. Okay, Nandri Vanakkam.